Hello everyone, Necromancy for Kids here once again, bringing some necromancy for you. The Chinese Year of the Fire Horse is going to be upon us, so I thought that it might be fun to take a look at the best and worst of retro Yu-Gi-Oh! With a top 10 list of horse-themed cards in Go format. So, let's relive some nostalgia together and see how many horse cards have been actually viable in the meta. Before we get to the top 10, I have 3 honorable mentions, starting with Mystic Horseman. Half man and half horse. This monster is known for its extreme speed. This card has just always been too weak to be viable, and probably should have been a level 3 for its stats. Even though it makes another honorable mention, Rabid Horseman, the fusion of Mystic Horseman and Battle Ox. As a level 6 fusion with no effect and only 2000 attack, it's soundly trumped by Empress Judge, who has an extra 100 attack points over it. So even though you should be playing it in your Go format fusion deck for the times its Beast Warrior typing matters, it's very, very rarely going to matter. The final honorable mention goes to Gaia the Fierce Knight. A knight whose horse travels faster than the wind. His battle charge is a force to be reckoned with. Well, it's super iconic and was a staple card when originally printed in the OCG. The only reason you would play this card in Go format is in a deck focused around Gaia the Dragon Champion and the support spell card Spiral Spear Strike. A very fun and cool strategy, but very clunky. Trust me, I've tried it. Alright, on to the list proper. Starting us off at number 10 of the Go format horse cards, we have Nightmare Horse. A level 2 dark zombie with 500 attack and the ability to attack your opponent directly. While this card is definitely nothing special, it could at least be a filler dark monster to fuel a chaos deck. And being a zombie means it's recurable if you wanted to make a direct attack focused deck with it. Not much else to say about it. Number 9 is Dark Zebra. I know, zebras aren't really horses, but close enough, right? Anyway, this zebra has 1800 attack and 400 defense. And despite its name, it's an earth monster and goes to defense position on your standby phase if it's the only monster you control. In my opinion, this card also could have been level 3 instead of level 4. And the fact that it's outclassed by Great Angus, Mad Dog of Darkness, and all of the cards on my top 10 beat sticks video makes Dark Zebra pretty unviable. Still, you could play it as a filler card in pretty much any deck and have an okay beater for a turn, whereas Gaia the Fierce Knight would just be a massive brick. Number 8 is the Trojan Horse, a level 4 Earth Beast with 1600 attack and 1200 defense. It counts as 2 tributes when you tribute it for an Earth monster. While its stats are worse, 1600 is still decent enough, and it doesn't come with any downsides. Plus, it enables you to summon some fun cards like Ancient Gear Golem. Unfortunately, while it can let you summon Behemoth King of All Animals at its full stats, tributing the Trojan Horse for it doesn't get you 2 cards from the graveyard. Number 7 is Kaiser Seahorse. This one is kind of cheating, but it's one of the few cards with horse in its name in Go format, so please forgive me. Anyway, Kaiser Seahorse is a level 4 light sea serpent with 1700 attack and 1650 defense, and I'm sure you already know that it works like the Trojan Horse, but with light monsters. Better stats and better attribute, this card is almost playable as a beat stick in a chaos deck, if not for the card Skilled White Magician, and you can of course use it in a Blue Eyes deck for something a bit more fun. Number 6 is Restructor Revolution, a normal spell card that inflicts 200 damage to your opponent for each card in their hand. The only spell or trap I could find that prominently displays a horse in the artwork. It's also the first card on this list that's been seen in meta play in Go format, being a fringe playable in burn decks for its ability to sometimes get better Ukazi. I'm sure at least some of you are having PTSD from its use in the early days of Duel Links as well. Something strange about this card, which I never see discussed, however, is its name. Restructor? That's not a word, and seems to be another error in translation like Giant Trunade was. Which, yeah, if you were like me as a kid and thought Trunade was a word, it's not. Either in English or in Japanese. Number 5 is Mephis the Infernal General, a level 5 Dark Fiend with 1800 attack and 1700 defense, which inflicts piercing damage, and when it deals damage to the opponent, they must discard a card at random. This horseman doesn't see much use, but was much more viable back in the day when Scapegoat was played more often, as it could handily punish the opponent turn after turn by attacking into goat tokens. Its stats allowed it to beat over most threats the opponent would play, and 1700 defense protected it from being defeated by Tsukiyomi. You would very occasionally still see it in Reasoning Gate or Chaos Pile decks. Number 4 is Reaper on the Nightmare, a level 5 Dark Zombie with 800 attack and 600 defense. It's the fusion of the aforementioned Dark Horse plus Spirit Reaper, and quite literally combines the stats and effects of both cards into one. Can't be destroyed by battle, but is destroyed when selected as a target of an effect. Can attack the opponent directly, and when it does, it forces the opponent to discard a card at random. There is an argument to be made that this card could be higher on the list, as every player should be including this card in their fusion deck if possible, and its effects are pretty darn good. But the fact that it's rarely the best option to summon with Metamorphosis or Cyberstein, and a deck focused around it wouldn't be all that powerful either. You would be better off just playing 3 Spirit Reaper and calling it good. I couldn't put it any higher on the list. Number 3 is Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight, a dark level 7 with 2300 attack, 2100 defense. It could be normal summoned with that tribute if it's the only card in your hand. The much needed upgrade to Gaia the Fierce Knight, this horseman has seen play a few times throughout history in warrior decks, and most recently has been brought back into the foray with Gumo Sumo. Basically, you set a full hand of trap cards like Sakuretsu Armor and Solemn Judgment, and slam him down for free to start swinging in for major damage. Number 2 is Chiron the Mage, a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior with 1800 attack and 1000 defense. Once per turn, you can discard a spell card with its effect to destroy one spell or trap on the field. With the ability to turn any spell in your hand essentially into MST, this centaur used to be used more prominently in the past with old iterations of Earth aggro strategies. Nowadays, sees played mainly as a side deck card to get rid of pesky floodgates like Gravity Bind. Spell cards are some of the strongest cards in goatformat though, so it's often a pretty difficult price to pay for its effect. Finally, the number 1 horse card in goatformat is Air Knight Parshath. The counterpart of the number 5 card Mephis the Infernal General, Air Knight Parshath is a level 5 light fairy with 1900 attack, which inflicts piercing damage, and when it inflicts damage to the opponent, lets you draw 1 card. It is heavily favored over Mephist in deck building because the light attribute has a smaller pool of viable cards, has a higher attack, and players are always happy to draw a card, while sometimes the opponent is going to have 0 cards in hand, or cards they're happy to discard like Night Assailant. Air Knight Parshath used to be played as a near staple, and still sees use today in most iterations of Reasoning Gate decks, where they're more than happy to have that extra card in hand. And that's the top 10 horse cards in goatformat. What do you think? Are there any cards that you would have moved the placement of? Did I forget any horses? And sorry for getting a little cheeky with some of the inclusions, but I thought it would make the list a bit more interesting. Thank you guys for watching, and remember to subscribe to a Yugi tuber you enjoyed today, even if it isn't me.